Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Monday, December 2nd, 2024. It's just flying by time. What I want to talk about first of all here in the Netherlands, things are shaking up for the public broadcasting. It's called the NTR. They make programs about art, about culture, education, and a lot of, I think they also do the youth journal, although I'm not really certain of that. But they make programs, and apparently the entire commission, I think, the commission that were watching them, like they have this Raad van Toezicht, which means, I should have, how do you call it? See in English, supervisory board. It's a supervisory board. Well, they left. They got up and left because there were so many things coming in about their director, and they were like, we need a new team to look at this independently. So this is very interesting, shaking things up here in the Netherlands in the public broadcast system. More things are going on. They've been going on for quite some time now. And I understand a lot of people are kind of frustrating, especially here in the Netherlands, for the community, wondering why things aren't changing in the media, but there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we're not fully aware of. And I thought this was interesting. This happened last Thursday. I just wanted to mention that. The second thing I wanted to mention was a picture. It's more like someone took like a picture of a broadcast in Great Britain. This is from Great Britain News. And apparently this is a picture of, at least this is Keir Starmer standing there, and under it there is a title, and this is interesting, Sir Keir 2.0. That's what it says underneath it. That's the title. More and more things are coming out, showing the people that this is not really the real one anymore. So that is interesting to me. Another thing, Bernie Sanders apparently agrees with Elon Musk. This is also very interesting. He actually made a post on X. Elon Musk is right. The Pentagon, with a budget of $886 billion, just failed its 7th audit in a row. It's lost track of billions. Last year, only 13 senators voted against the military-industrial complex and a defense budget full of waste and fraud. That must change. So this is interesting, Bernie. Things are changing there. So it's interesting to mention that. The first thing I want to take a look at is Kash Patel. Apparently Mr. T wants him for a certain agency. Starts with an F, we've got an B, and we have an I, and he wants to put him up front. I just wanted to see what the energy was. He already declared that he's going to show the list, certain lists connected to a certain island. Most likely going to be published, and I think that's going to be very interesting. I'm sure a lot of celebrities are kind of wide awake, wondering what's going to happen. A lot of them are kind of leaving the USA, which is very interesting as well, although they are not going to get away with anything. I just wanted to mention that even though, you know, certain people think that if you are in a certain position that you apparently have immunity, you don't. If you don't, things that are horrible, horrific, you're not going to get away with anything. Justice will be served, doesn't matter where you're going to be. So that's including Markey, who is of course the head of NATO. He's not going to be protected by that. I know that there are some people, well, he's immune, they won't be able to touch him. Things he's done, don't worry about it. And like I said, we don't even know what we're watching, which Markey 3.0, 4.0. We're not really sure, but we can be certain that the real Mark really never got away with anything. And for Kash Patel, the cards I've got, first of all, is the 5 of Swords. We've got the Hermit card for the central card. We've got the 8 of Swords in the past. We've got the 3 of Wands underneath the Hermit. And for the future, we've got the Three of Pentacles and the Emperor. So to me, this feels like he's going to really work, bringing in a completely new energy, but he's got a task ahead of him. He really needs to clean up all these energies there. So there's going to be cleaning up. He's probably going to stand a bit on his own in that case. Just wait and see what's going to happen. I'm sure he's going to place certain people in certain positions as well. But a lot of things need to be changing. He already mentioned he was going to, I think, rearrange certain things that they've built, of course, in that agency. Like I think about 7,000 agents would... I'm not sure what that was about. I think I've posted it on Telegram. Let's see if I can find it. But he really wanted to shake things up. I can't find it that quickly. Well, really doesn't. Ultimately, he's going to change things. He's going to restructure that agency, and certain agents will have to go out in America again and work on something else than what they've been working on. And I think that's a good thing. But I see a lot of change, and things need to happen. I think it's not going to be that easy. He really needs to handle with these power plays at work there in that agency. But I think it's very important that he's been put in that position. Like I said, certain list will be available that will shake things up. And the second thing I looked at was, let me see, of course, Hunter. Mr. B granted him a pardon for everything that he's done. Yeah, it's a sad situation. He apparently made a promise he wasn't going to do that, but of course he changed in the last moment. So apparently now it seems like Hunter will be left alone. From 2014, I think it started, and that's of course including everything that happened in the Ukraine, his connections there, which is also connected to Mr. O. Mr. O was the president before Mr. T, before 2016, or the first term of Mr. T, and I'm sure you understand who I'm talking about, Mr. O. It's all connected. It will come out. I also shared a message on my Telegram that really this hasn't been done by the Black Hats. Don't worry about it. Just so we're clear, it wasn't the Black Hats or the DS that pardoned Hunter. That anger you feel, yeah, you're supposed to. There is no better way to show the hypocrisy currently embedded in our system of justice than for, Mr. B to pardon his, of course, son. Very important that those things are going to happen. So they are going to anger people. And I also mentioned this in my Dutch video, and I think I should mention this in my English video as well. Natural anger, there's nothing wrong with that. It moves people. It gives you the strength to push through, to put your boundaries down, to say no to things. Problem is that the dark energies used that energy to frustrate people, to make them feel like they're powerless. So they're very angry, but there's no way to, channel that anger, and it really creates this low frequency. So anger itself is not really low frequency, but if you remain in anger, you're not working through it, you're not doing anything with that energy, just frustrated and angry at the world, then you remain in a low frequency. So there's a difference there, because I do understand, why would the White Hats bring in this to anger people? It gets people moving. It wakes people up. It's like, well, this is not what we want. And that's so important, to get out of that feeling of powerlessness, to get out of that feeling of, we can't control anymore, that desperation. That's why this is being done, and I can assure you more things will happen. That's why here in Europe they're pushing things through with the digital euro, and they're pushing things through with those 15-minute cities. Is to anger people. It gets them moving, especially because it's so ridiculous if you look at it. Some proposals here in the Netherlands as well, it's completely ridiculous, and that is the point. Now in Great Britain, with suddenly, with the farmers, suddenly they have to pay some tax that they just invented. It's there to anger people. It's not to get this feeling like, oh, see, they're taking over, there's nothing we can do. No, it's to anger people, to get them moving, to get them out of that comfort zone and start standing up for themselves. At least that is how I see things and perceive it. And let's see. So energy I've got for what's happening with Hunter and this entire system, of course, with the pardoning of things. Also, Mr. T reacted to that like, well, what's going to happen with all these people that are stuck there, you know, because of what happened then in January 2021. Something going to happen there. My feeling is that most likely when Mr. T is in the office, that things will happen for them very quickly. But here we have, this is about, of course, what I just mentioned for Hunter. We got the Death card. We've got the Queen of Swords. That's about discernment. Not everything is what it seems. We've got the Ten of Pentacles in the past. This is about showing how the status quo has been. And this, of course, is infuriating people. This is the Four of Cups. People are not happy with this, and that's exactly the point of this. And then we have, for the future, we have the Six of Swords moving away from this and the Ten of Cups. So I think this is really one of the last things about this system to show people. I do think like we are really going to face some hectic times ahead of us. But the Death card, it's ending, and people need to see that moving away and connecting again. People are connecting again with the Ten of Cups. So ultimately, this will have a better effect on things. So I don't see this as something negative at all. It's showing people. You need to show them, not tell them, but show them. The last thing I wanted to take a look at is something that was sent to me. This is actually from 9-4-News. That's more of in Dutch. And this is about a Dutch article about, I think, a German doctor who is saying that awful things are going to happen in 2025. His name is Heiko Schöning. And he also predicted that things were happening concerning voting in Germany. He actually mentions that this was all done on purpose, you know, here in the Netherlands and in Belgium and in France, you know, those early votings, it was purposely done. So they will be, you know, in place for the next 4 years. I see that a little differently because let's face it, it's not going very well here in the Netherlands. The government is pretty close to falling again. In France, it's not going very well there either. And in Great Britain, Keir, people are not a big fan of him. So I understand that this is how he wants to, you know, what he sees this as a point that they purposely put themselves in place so they'll be here for the next 4 years. I don't see that happening, at least not in the Netherlands. This government is not going to last that long. And I doubt, and I highly doubt, in other countries around here in Europe as well. But he's talking about something with bacteria. So I wanted to take a look at that. Something awful will happen. And the cards I've got, really, they're very good cards. I've got the Chariot. I've got the Four of Wands for the central card. I've got the Six of Swords in the past, moving away from these things. I've got the Three of Cups underneath the Four of Wands. And for the near future, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Magician. So to me, this feels like we're moving away from this. We've got, well, this is in the past, but we've already been moving away from this. And the Chariot card is also about moving away. This really feels like we're moving away from this situation entirely. I don't think they have that power anymore. I don't think they have the means to conduct something on such a level. They would have done it by now. That's the feeling I'm getting, and especially with these beautiful cards. This is about celebrations. Again, depending on your perspective, I see this as the white hats, you know, bringing in new energy. I think that we've already, as humanity, you know, we've energetically already won. That's how I see things. We are really now moving in a completely different direction. But then again, see what resonates with you. I don't see this happening. I don't believe that there's going to be anything. Maybe something very small can happen. They might try something, but I don't see this as this humongous scale, especially not with what has happened, of course, the past, well, in March, I believe, almost 5 years, you know, what happened. I don't think that's going to happen again, but this is how I see things. Of course, see if it resonates with you. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye.